Hey, it's Troy Forrest from Strategy Road here. Come and take a walk with me and we'll have a conversation about strategy starter shots. Strategy starter shots. Every business on the planet is reworking, or better be getting ready to rework, their strategic plan. Some have to start at ground zero, and some will be about angles slightly away from the mean they'll hold to. Some are going to be optimistically opportunity focused. Some will be slashing and tightening and finding every bit of frugal they can find. Some will be about supply chain, and some about marketplaces and customer cohorts, some about product and service capabilities, and some about navigating the new competitor landscape, mindful every other business is going through a similar rethink. In these short strategy starter shot videos, I'll give you and your leadership team a few brain pokes to help you get the conversation and the replanning process off on the right foot. Listen, consider, digest, then move on something you hear. And if you need a hand taking that to the next level, call or email me. Let's start with value proposition. So your value proposition is what you're bringing to the market, to a customer group, that they deem to have some value, that they'll pay you to bring into their world for some upside. It might be a combo deal of products and processes and people and pain removal tools and pleasure delivering packages, all of the things that you've got in your bag of tricks represented by your brand that someone deems of value. Here's the thing, it might have changed in the last few months. In fact, chances are it has. And that's not just because your own internal capabilities have changed, like maybe your access to products from manufacturers, or your staffing capabilities, or your means to get out and actually deliver to and interact with customers. It might also have changed because the wants, needs, and abilities of the customer group you set your value proposition package up for have changed, either temporarily or irrevocably. It might be that where they previously viewed you as a must-have, you've been bumped into the nice-to-have category as belt tightening kicks in. It might be that their own business models have had to change to stay afloat, and with their new structure or approach, the slot you were to occupy for them looks different. Let's say, for example, you're a reseller of a manufacturer's products. Maybe you're geographically located somewhere that afforded that manufacturer access to a market segment otherwise distant to them. Your value proposition has comprised things like strong relationships with local purchasers and local distribution and reselling capabilities, and maybe offering a range of complementary other manufacturer products that brought more customers to an aggregated honeypot, so sweetening the deal for that unipolar manufacturing supply partner. So you had a compelling value proposition that made you both compelling for them to engage you as an intermediary, as well as protected you from the risks of being circumvented by that manufacturer going direct. Because the idea of going direct just had too many barriers or tripwires, and why bother when you guys are really good at what you do? That little slice of margin you were able to take was a small price for the ease, the proven sales, the strength in numbers for them. Well, consider what might be about to unfold in your sector. That manufacturer or supplier is now under real revenue and margin pressure. They have to ramp up sales fast while preserving whatever they can because they've taken a fair hit during shutdown. They don't want to lose the benefits of your value proposition necessarily, but they're rebalancing their estimation of its value against alternatives, going direct, aggregating with different offerings, repackaging under the brand of another for volume opportunities. Online ordering got a massive shot in the arm in the last few months, and now that genie is out of the bottle properly in many markets, perhaps the appeal of reducing the reliance on a human face at a local store counter as a means of transacting has dimmed significantly. So your value proposition doesn't necessarily have the same perceived value in their minds anymore. So what to do? I think it's critical to systematically work through a few questions about what you can offer them in the months and years ahead. What is it that you can do for them as a cost-reducing mechanism or a revenue-enhancing mechanism that is simply too challenging or illogical for them to do for themselves? What do you offer that another potential partner, a different aggregator or conduit to customer cash, can't recreate as quickly, as easily, or lucratively, or sustainably for them? How's their continued partnership with and investment in you more stable, predictable, or assured over the short, medium, and long term than the alternatives? What's changed so fundamentally, so deeply in their operations, or is going to need to, that you can flex and evolve and adapt to lend a hand with as a partner committed to their sustained success? What is it you've already got in your business model, your building, or your offering set that you hadn't necessarily promoted or showcased to the manufacturer as part of your value proposition before, but that, repurposed or put forward, might have fresh or different value for them? How, in this distracted, frenzied, and triaging period, can you engage these partners in a discussion about a realigned, future-fitting value proposition using communication approaches that cut through and resonate? So, for our local product resellers, where previously your shelf space, your relationships with the local purchasing community, your one-stop hub that the manufacturers enjoyed the benefits of, and it just wasn't feasible or more lucrative for them to do it another way, as they start dancing with direct online purchasing or just-in-time delivery options, or putting their wares with another in return for sharper prices, or white labeling their brand to build that of another in return for some volume spikes, how will you respond? Will it be about sharpening your own pencil to take a haircut on your cut of the sales you make for them? And if so, where and how will you make up that shortfall? Will it be about amping up your sales and marketing efforts to bring more folk to the door, expanding the potential pool of customers they can enjoy via your energies? And if so, how will you do that? Where will they come from, and why will they come? Will it be about moving your own energies online, recalibrating your relationship with the community that knows and trusts your brand, galvanizing a digi-customer relationship with them before the suppliers and manufacturers have a chance to usurp you there? And if so, what will make your digi offering ultra compelling to your client group? Will it be about bringing in different suppliers and lines that are appealing bedfellows to your manufacturing partners on the new planes? And if so, who are they, these suppliers, and why will they choose to use you? Will it be about bringing a different combination of humans, of skills, of relationships, of activities in your business to transform the market dynamic and maybe blaze some new trails that the traditional supply chain players aren't yet onto? And if so, what does that look like? And what's it going to require? And what might it deliver? Or is it about holding your line, being the stable, the solid, the reliable and resilient path to market for these partners, and accepting the downturn and re-engineering your enterprise to survive at a different scale? Or is it about parting ways and focusing on a different mix of resellables with the customer cohort you've built? And if so, can you? Do you want to? Do they, your customers, want you to? We talk about value propositions needing to be differentiated or differentiating, separating you from others, your competitive advantage. So part of rethinking your value proposition is not doing so in a bubble. As others start moving the deck chairs in their businesses to try realigning and engaging a sufficient customer base with a newly painted or remodeled offering set, you need to be mindful of and potentially responsive to what others are doing if they're moving into your lane. If they are now proposing and potentially able to do precisely what you were otherwise doing, what new sets you apart? What else can you offer? Or what's genuinely better in terms of value for money for your chosen customer cohort about you over the others? Maybe you've got a direct physical interface with the customers of the products you make. Say, for example, you're a winery Cellar Door. You've always dealt with competition that isn't wildly differentiated from you. Those 5 cellar doors down the road also make very nice wine, also have very nice staff, also have pretty nice facilities, and also offer free tastings. But you've all managed to synergistically survive as precinct partners. Only now, for a period, that precinct isn't physically accessible to those that seek out the human delights that visits to Cellar Doors offer. A core part of your value proposition, offering a distinct, memorable moment in time at a special physical place intimately connected with the drink they've come to experience, has been neutered a while. So, what might the reworked value proposition look like? Take that connection to place desire that your consumers have. Can you recreate that in a different way? A digi-powered, up-close and personal showcase of your place, of moments, of process, of the people involved. Can your digital Cellar Door more closely emulate the actual being there experience than others around you? Can you buddy up with those 5 guys down the road to recreate a digi-precinct? Can you take some unique elements of your place out to them, these customers, to where they physically are right now? Consider the treat me special service experience they've come to the Cellar Door to have. Otherwise, why wouldn't they have just bought the bottle at Dan's cheaper? How can you take that next level when they're not standing before you? Given that you're no longer restricted to the Cellar Door staff that happen to be serving on the counter on that given shift, who else could you get to deliver that sense of experience? What's the sensation, the feeling you've been working to give them at the Cellar Door, or that you know they crave, and what other means have you got of giving it to them in a way that'll hold them to you, to your brand, and the purchase of a home-delivered carton or 2 is merely the side effect of that experience. Consider the peer status and esteem and halo effect that they want to enjoy by being able to say they've learned something, built some insider knowledge, and have smartly then invested in a brand as belting as yours. How else can you help them find, gain, and enjoy that sensation? Amplify it. Do it even more powerfully than a 20-minute 3-pour tasting at the bench could ever achieve. And then there's the bonus. Before, it was a special old bottle that came out from under the counter for an exclusive abnormal tasting. Before, it was the hot tips on a great place to go for a picnic lunch after you walk out of that Cellar Door, and here, have 10% off this bottle, which will go beautifully with that platter. Before, it was the short cook's tour of the vineyard with the winemaker who just happened to be walking past the Cellar Door. So that was all before. What could that bonus be now? This is a wonderful moment for creative and innovative thinking about value propositions. It really will benefit from your study within your industry. What are the early movers doing? What's the range of different things happening right now that you could copy, polish, take the essence of, or rework in your own way? It also benefits from looking outside your industry. Who's doing some fascinating, smile-inducing things in other completely different spaces that no one's yet cottoned onto in our sector, and it'll need a little reworking, but I could see how that idea might position us differently and perhaps more valuably. It also benefits from doing a really close and thoughtful audit of just what it is you have living beneath and connected to your brand. It's not just a product service mix that you've got. It's all manner of things, including connections and reputations and channels and intelligence. It's a big bag. Most of all, though, it benefits from you thinking about, watching closely, asking things of, and testing ideas with your critical partners, the suppliers you rely on, and even more than that, the customers that pay you cash. They're worrying as much as you are about where things will land for them. So not only is evolving in sync with their operating needs, wants, and capabilities a smart and hopefully profitable play, by being the one that stays close to them during this unsettling period, you're every chance to deepen and strengthen the relationship. And as the skies start to lighten again, they'll be more receptive to reviewing and considering your value proposition moving forward. A final thought then about value propositions for professional service providers, consultants, and advisors. Where the physical nature and interface dynamic of client interactions isn't necessarily affected in the same way as, say, an experience creator like a Cellar Door or the geographically fixed distribution hubs provided by product resellers, the dichotomy ahead for you might be, they need you more than ever, but their will or ability to pay for that which they think they might be able to cobble together a B-grade version for themselves for a whole lot less, that might be lower than ever. So even though your core business might help them realise more value in theory, their ability or will to pay for that value negates it. So, same deal, same kind of questions. How can any investment with you crystallise significantly greater upsides for them fast? How can you help them benefit within the realistic constraints of a tighter budget, while expanding your own reach to ensure you can offset their reduced spend with the spends of others? Why you over others that have similar skills or knowledge or people who might be dropping their trousers on price? What's really differentiatingly better about $1 in your tin over $1 in theirs? What extra can you bring to them that they hadn't thought about, that'll have real value, that you can do justice to, that sets you apart? And how will you get their eyeballs, their ears, their rapt attention in the midst of all that's going on to get that value proposition across effectively? If you want a hand sorting through and renewing or refining your value proposition, please give me a call, Troy Forrest, 0430 308 963, or email troy@strategyroad.com.au. Thanks for watching and listening. I'll put another one of these out next week on a different facet of strategic planning. Here's to smart strategy and to your disciplined implementation of it.